Imagine living in a world without any sound.
Bread of life, there are no disabilities.
Because everyone speaks the same language.
Hello, it's good to see you again in another episode of Expat Living. Now, in this episode, we're going to travel to the central city of Da Nang to visit a very special restaurant, whose name you just heard from a previous clip, Bread of Life. Now, Bread of Life is more than just a restaurant. It's a project that has been encouraging, educating, and providing employment opportunities for the deaf people in central Vietnam for the past 10 years. Now, the one who've created Bread of Life are Bob and Kathleen from the United States, who have considered Vietnam their second home for 17 years. So let's meet with them right now.
Bob Huff, a U.S. veteran, and his wife, Kathleen, a former teacher from the U.S. state of Kansas, had always wanted to support disadvantaged people in Vietnam. This desire has led them to a life-changing journey to Vietnam in February 1998.
When we first came, we were involved in a USAID project called Adaptive Vocational Training for Adolescents with Disability. What we did was help them get skill training, job training. We helped over 2,000 disabled kids in 3 provinces, Hải Dương, Da Nang, Quảng Nam, in the first 5 years we were here. After the 5 years, they wanted us to move to another country. But we, at that time, had fallen in love with Vietnam. We didn't want to go. By then, we'd fallen in love with the deaf.
We saw the deaf as a particularly needy group in that they were perfectly capable people, but they didn't have the opportunities. Even a mobility impaired child is still able to go to school, but a deaf person doesn't have that opportunity. If they're one of the lucky few to go to a deaf school, it's still just a 5th grade education. And so many of them, particularly from the countryside, have never even heard of sign language. They don't know there is a way to communicate.
They only had one problem, and that problem was communication. If we could solve communication, then we could take care of most of the problems in their life. So that's what we started doing.
And so we thought, well, how can we help? So we thought, well, you know, we can start some small business. We can help a few kids, you know, and so we began Bread of Life, and a few kids grew into many more kids.
This project, Bread of Life, is the result of our endeavor and desire to help the deaf and to make it possible for their lives to be changed.
This restaurant, Bread of Life, is a unique feature in the central coastal city of Da Nang and is not only due to the warm atmosphere and the delicious Western food. It stands out because the owners, Kathleen and Bob Hoff, have done something bold and extraordinary. Opened in 2005, the restaurant has employed deaf young men and women for almost all of its positions. All the profits support projects for the deaf.
Bread of Life in Vietnam, Ban Sua Sam, certainly the bread that gives life. But also for us as Christians, Jesus told us that I am the bread of life, and it's through His life that we are able to give life to others. And so for us, Bread of Life has a very special meaning.
Starting out as a bakery and coffee house, Bread of Life now has a full menu offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Bob and Kathleen has been training young deaf people aged between 16 to 26 in sign language, life and vocational skills, and providing them with employment opportunities in the restaurant. Bread of Life now has some 20 deaf employees who take full charge of running the restaurant.
So, Kathleen, can you introduce different areas of the kitchen?
Oh, sure. This is the baking area. We have the baking area, then we have the cooking area, and then we have the barista area where they make the drinks. So we have 3 main areas. We've got the head deaf in every department, and then the one under them that's been with us a long time, one overall, and then the new people then train under them. But all the kitchen staff are deaf, and they do everything.
So
themselves.
they make decision on the ingredients as well?
Well, they
buy?
have the recipes, and so then they know who is supposed to make what, when, and they keep inventory, and so they replenish the foods as necessary, but they make all those decisions. They do the day-to-day operations in the kitchen, and they do a really good job.
So there's one thing I've been wondering, is there any difference between a kitchen run by deaf people and kitchen run by ordinary people?
Yes, absolutely. One noticeable difference is it's quiet. You don't have anybody yelling. It's all done by sign. And they're all talking by sign quickly, easily, and it runs very smoothly. And there's one more difference. The way we take orders is different from an ordinary restaurant. I'll show you how it works.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Well, with the deaf, you have to do a little bit of different and accommodates them. For one thing, we have a light that turns on when there's an order that comes down the chute from upstairs. Then the deaf know that the order's there by the light, and then they get the order form. It's similar, this is one of the order forms.
It's very different from other restaurants when people kind of ring a bell or create some kind of sound so that the cook can pay attention, right?
Yeah, they'd ring a bell or some other sound usually. Yeah. But here, the light, they can see the light, and that calls their attention.
I'm the head chef at Bread of Life. I manage and support everyone in every department. I have everyone improve their skills and encourage them every day. Having been promoted to this position, I'm very grateful to Bob and Kathleen. Without their help, I couldn't have made it this far. I can feel how much Bob and Kathleen love all of us here.
They're not just employees, but as you say, they're family.
Yes, they are. They're very lovely. Very dạy thương. Everybody watches out for everybody, and I'm quite strict. I'm the mom of everybody, and they all get hugs, but also I expect them to do a good job, to work hard. Like it would be with your kids, where you are strict with your kids, but you love them. That's the kind of relationship it is.
As usual, the restaurant gets most crowded around 12:30.
Food's always great, food's always fresh, yeah, good service. It's really making a difference in young lives here. The deaf sometimes are probably not considered as much as they should be, and so as a business and as an outreach for the community, it's really good, making a real difference.
It was the best pizza that I've had since I've been traveling. When I came in, everyone was really, really friendly to me. So there was obviously a communication barrier, but when I came in, they were all smiling and very welcome. It's a much homier atmosphere than other restaurants that I've been to.
It's a little bit of a shock to me. Everything just seemed to be natural with them. I didn't know that most of them, or all of them, were deaf, because I see they communicate really well. And I'm thinking, being deaf, how are you meant to communicate back to them? But they do it well, and they watch your eyes a lot and things like that.
I'm very happy to work here. Breath of Life has taught me a lot since I got here. I have learned sign language, English, and so much more. Both and Kathleen are foreigners, but they understand us so well and help us a lot.
The young people that work with us have no disability. Everyone here speaks their language, which is sign language. That's their heart language. And they have social life. They have, everything that you and I, opportunities that you and I have.
They have respect, love, opportunity for advancement in your work, and then you can have a social life. And so their life is very whole and very complete.
Today, besides work, all the staff at Bread of Life has something different to look forward to. One of the staff has their birthday today.
Every birthday, we have a list of birthdays. The deaf buy fruit and a cake, and we all have a party about 2 in the afternoon, because by then, most of the customers are finished eating and there's not many left. And it's kind of a quiet party because deaf are, so we don't bother other people, but it's very happy. They sing happy birthday to the person and make that person special. They feel special.
Besides Bread of Life, Bob and Kathleen also supports many other projects for the deaf in Central Vietnam. Central Deaf Services, founded by 2 Americans, Jeff and Nancy, is one of such projects.
So Jeff was the manager at Bread of Life prior to opening this. And Jeff has a master's in deaf education, and Nancy has a master's in education. And we've always wanted to start a school like this, but we didn't have the credentials as much as Jeff and Nancy, and they really have the degrees, the credentials, the experience. So this Central Deaf Services was an outgrowth of what we do at Bread of Life, where we help the deaf with skill training, and here they help the deaf learning sign language.
Central Deaf Services teaches sign language for deaf people of all ages, their families, friends, employers, and anyone who wants to learn to communicate with the deaf. Here, learners get to learn not only the language, but also soft skills and can socialize with others.
We helped in the establishment of this center, and obviously we have a heart for the deaf, and our desire is to see many people come to a better understanding of the deaf and of being able to work with the deaf. And so we come here as interested parties to see how the classes are going, and just to visit and encourage.
The biggest difficulty when teaching sign language is that the children often lose their attention during the lesson. Despite that, I enjoy teaching sign very much. I feel happy and excited whenever I have a class.
It's a beautiful sunny Sunday in the central city of Da Nang. As always, Bob and Kathleen spent their only day off from the work at Bread of Life on later activities they like the most, riding the motorbike around the beach city and shopping at local markets.
I love to go to the market. The supermarket, you don't get to know the people. In the traditional market, I like it so much better. I have certain markets, certain places, I know everybody. I've seen them from the time they have babies, now their children 15 years old. It's really fun to see people change and be close with them. Khỏe. Ôm xả, mưa màu hoa, màu sáng, màu trắng. We really enjoy it. The quality of life is good. We meet so many wonderful people, and so many people have a good heart here. There's a lot of people, a lot of people with good hearts here.
Vietnam's a very pleasant place to live, particularly Da Nang City. We love Da Nang City.
It's not only the land that Bob and Kathleen have fallen in love with, but also the people. All the employees at Bread of Life have now become like family members to them. Today, Bob and Kathleen are visiting Chung and Na. Both are employees at Bread of Life, and they've got married last year.
Bread of Life is like a matchmaker for me and my wife. I fell in love with my wife, Na, the first time we met at Bread of Life. She's very lovely. After dating for about 1 year and a half, we got married, and now we have a beautiful baby. Today, I'm very happy that Bob and Kathleen visit us at our house.
It's thrilling because they're really a good match for each other. They both are very nice kids, they don't get angry. To see them in their house is really thrilling because you can see more into their heart, more into their life.
I think we have done what we had hoped to be able to do when we came to Vietnam.
Working with the deaf, changing their life. Some of them before had nothing, had no life, didn't know sign, but now they're growing, prospering. Many are married with children. They all have a social life, they all have income, they all are proud of their work, they're all doing a good job, they're all contributing to society. They feel good about themselves, and others seeing them, they see the difference too. That